Welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at No Man's Sky in 2024. Now this game's been around from 2016, and if you remember the big controversy of the game flopping because of the performance issues, the story being kinda meh, and overall general vibe. Now this was one of the first games that actually tried to use procedural generated planets for the universe, and you could name your own planets and stuff like this. But it actually managed to redeem itself, so yeah, it's still here. Now they do have currently on Steam the Omega Edition free to play for a couple hours, and apparently there's 24 hours remaining, so I decided to jump in. Now before we jump into the actual game, which I don't even remember how to play, so that's gonna be fun, here's the minimum requirements for the game. So as a minimum they want at least a GTX 1060 for the game, and recommended is a 1070 from the GeForce side. When it comes to the RAM, minimum is 8, recommended 16. Size wise, nothing changed, it's still 15 gigs, and CPU wise it's either i3 32000 or Intel Core i7 4790. So overall it's actually not too bad. So let's have a look at the options, what we're going to be running here. We're going with a 4K native, full screen, no vertical sync, maximum frame rate is set to 240, and we're setting everything up on ultra, including anisotropy filtering and a newcomer GTAO, which I didn't even know exists. Apparently it does. Anti-aliasing to 2 TAA, apparently it's sharper than FXA, so we're gonna roll with that. And that's pretty much all there is. Now, one thing I did notice, the game is running in Vulkan, which I do believe before that it was running exclusively in DirectX API, so that's a welcome change. So yeah, let's jump in. I did do the tutorial slightly. As you can see, the total playtime is an hour. You start with a ship, and the ship is absolutely ruined. You need to craft and hunt down materials to actually take the ship so it can fly. So that's a little bit weird, but you know what? At the same time, who cares? Very good tutorial to remember how to actually get into the ship and actually how the crafting works. There are quite few changes in regards to this game nowadays. The weapon crafting and the way combat or visor works is way different than in 2016 when the game came out. I wouldn't say it's more advanced, but it's more compact into the same subset. When it comes to the items and crafting, you do use the same smelter, you do have to analyze the stuff and so on and so forth, which I'm not gonna go into too much depth because you can have a lot of videos out there giving you pro tips, top 10 things you need to know before starting No Man's Sky, and so on and so forth. I'm here just to look literally at the numbers themselves. So what do we have here? We're pulling 8.2 gigs of allocated video memory and 11 gigs of RAM. So they kind of stay true to their word in regards to requirements. So we are getting about 80-ish frames, and this is how the world looks. Now, at times I am getting a little bit of a frame drop here and there. Not too much. Not enough to get you annoyed, but it's more about if you cross a ridge, it kind of drops a little bit, because it needs to load in whatever's going on. Now, procedurally generated content heavily relies on a CPU. And as you can see, the CPU usage is kinda high when it comes to it, despite that everything else graphically is being offloaded to the GPU. When I started my benchmark, so to say, an hour ago, there was quite a few ships here, which would kinda indicate that a lot of people are still playing this game. Obviously, I'm not surprised. But yeah, it's just one of those things, really. My ship is finally ready to fly with a bare minimum actually required for it to fly, but at the same time, even looking at my character currently, there are certain changes. Now, this backpack has more functionality than before. You do get a jump pack right off the gate. And when it comes to the actual weapons, this is something interesting. You actually have the regular attack mode, and you get your mining beam, and then you have something that you can apparently reshape stuff, which definitely was not present when the game launched. Like, this was not there. At the same time, it does allow you to quickly get resources if needs be. as you can notice, the frames are a little bit all over the place. But then again, 4K Epic, I'm not too surprised. This is essentially a fake world that your PC needs to crunch to actually show and tell. When it comes to the actual equipment slots, now this is where they have put everything in one place. Now, majority of these things are from the 2016, if you remember the Carbon, and you can actually use it as a fuel for your multi-tool, because you do need to recharge it nowadays, which is kind of funny. All things considered, back in the day you didn't have to do that. And then you have your usual stuff, you know, whatever you can imagine. Starship wise, we are supposedly airworthy. I'm yet to do that because I really wanted to see how the game and the ship will behave flying around, because considering every planet that you come across is not exactly in place. As I said, it's procedurally generated. So you need to crunch the numbers to get an RNG planet and hope it fits whatever you're looking for. And apparently they actually kind of put a lot of things in this game. I'm not entirely sure the scope of it. The one very interesting thing I did notice, however, is you see right where the frames are showing, you have announcement system who has departed, who came onto the planet, or who's nearby. For whatever weird reason, this demo version or the free trial comes straight from Steam, and I'm seeing some writings in Russian as a full announcement in Russian. This player is landing here, and that felt a little bit odd because, you know, it's, I don't know if that's dependent on the server you're in or what, but anyhow, right, let's take the Deadly Ashes and go from there. Really, I did kinda change the way for the third person, so... Oh wow, we do have mouse control here, right, okay. So let's have a little fly around over the unexplored wilds, because I haven't been in this game anywhere near where we should be, so yeah. Head to the stars, control primary thrust by holding W, activate the boost by holding left shift. Considering the little small tiny ship you used to start in this game, this is kind of like an upgrade really. I'm not sure if it's in a good sense of word or what, but I think we can just fly around the planet really. Because this is where majority of your time will be spent, apart from visiting different stations and so on. So kind of similar to Elite Dangerous. Depends how you look at it. The movement with the mouse, that's a new one, but hey ho. You know what, I'm not even gonna be too surprised about that. Off planet. Okay, I don't know where we need to go. And I did not do that. Quick menu allows fast access to many options, utility section, cycle active missions. Right. Planetary interference. Fair enough. Okay, I think we can just go upstream really. Aim for the stars, see what happens. Let's go back. Hello games, okay. So we are back in orbit, and obviously the frames are going to be much higher here. So I think we can just pick a point somewhere. And just go there with the pulse engine. Now I don't know if we need to recharge the fuel cell, probably yes, because that's how this game really essentially works. Just trying to find a point I would like to venture towards. We did have some nav points up here. I'm just waiting to roll back to them. Okay, we should be close enough to finally figure out where we're going. Okay, we're anywhere here. And we kinda need to get over there, right. I hope I did set a waypoint there, because all things considered, Ultra Kitty Cat, the Singularity. Okay. Moon plot. XML. So all this is discovered space. I jumped to the planet looking like Earth. Let's see what it shows us. It's an unknown planet and it's undiscovered. It's a frostbound, frost crystal, copper dioxide, silver. Well, we do need silver for certain ship repairs, so probably that's where we're gonna be heading, so let's see how it goes. Now the travel seems a little bit slower than in the regular No Man's Sky, but then again, you know, I cannot really complain. This game is also one of those where you set your own pace. There's a lot of exploration required, a lot of grind and stuff like this. Performance-wise, obviously, while in space, I'm not gonna touch it. It's more about when you're on the actual planet, and this is where the meat and potatoes of this game really stands. Now in here, while we're flying around, as you can see, we're pulling 8.5 gigs of allocated memory, 11 gigs of RAM, close to 12, and we're at 128 frames, or high hundreds, so to say. So we'll see once we're closer to this ice giant. We're gonna try to enter orbit, we're gonna try to land and see how it goes, because this is unmapped, so a good chance we might actually name it. I mean, you know, if you're being wishful. I should say wishful thinking, or whatever the saying goes. Last time I played this game was back in 2017, if I remember correctly, with the 1080 Ti, and it was actually kinda nice, you know, all things considered. So I think we need to just head straight in for the surface. This game does not require an orbital flight plan to actually go through the, you know, the atmosphere, so you don't need to worry about crashing and dying and burning up in it. And also the ship itself kind of looks nice in comparison to the regular junk you get, at least you got back in the day. And yeah, this game is rather popular, which I'm not surprised about, you know, it's one of those laid-back experiences really. They do have combat nowadays apparently, and a little bit more advanced resource gathering and so on and so forth, so we'll see how it goes. Someone landed on a planet, Robbery Delta. Okay, fair enough. So we do have some Star Explorers with us as well. Let's see how it's gonna happen here. Your casual experience in No Man's Sky, dropping frames or breaching atmosphere. So the ship should straighten up hopefully once we are down below the deck. Okay, let's jump in. The clouds definitely look better than before. Let's hope we're not gonna crash into a mountain here. No, 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 no. Get back. This planet does not want us. I'll give you that much. It's not willing to accept us. Come on! What's up? I don't know if they added in atmospheric bounce, but this thing does not want us here. At all. Set foot in a new world to discover it. Approach the planet's surface. Slow down with S. Okay. Let's try not to crash the ship on the first day. You know, first day on a job, it is how it is. I think we need to acquire a little bit of high ground here. There's something already. So let's land here and see what happens. I do believe we're going to be in minus hundreds here. Oh, hello. This is cold. This is cold. Almost on the money. Minus 99. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Let's just scan as much as we can and get the hell out of here. Viscous fluids, junk. Let's take that. Community expeditions, no idea about that. The storm is clearing. I mean, so the storm has passed. We are at minus 57 degrees, which is very, very cold, considering if you convert it in Fahrenheit. You have some space eels, which is always a nice sight to see. And there's also a cargo drop point. Look at this. Let's go for a quick gander here. So the life support is kind of holding on, and I wouldn't say we are.
Thermal protection falling.
Thermal protection 50%. Okay, let's see how it goes. I mean, not surprising, minus 58. You get this on planet Earth as well, but you know, if you are going around the outposts, it's rather expected. Damaged machinery everywhere. Okay, do we get an entrance here as well? Back in the day when you were trying to get into these places, you had the sentinels trying to rip everything up. Let's see what we get. Residual goop. And also data log. Okay, let's go. We got some nanites, and this poor sod is kinda there. Rusted metal. We're taking everything. If one thing this game has taught you, it's always take whatever you can get. You can always break it down, you can reuse it, you can upgrade whatever you have. It's better to have too much than not enough. It's, I would want to say, the mantra of No Man's Sky. But then again, performance-wise, it runs kind of, I would want to say, the same level as back in 2016. So as you can see, the GPU usage is kind of up and down. We are getting constant frame rate above 60, which is good enough, but I would kind of want to say that despite this game being reworked a lot of times, it's still not exactly in the location I would want it to be, in all honesty. Communication station. Looks like Humanity is doing its part. This is not exactly absolutely abandoned. Let me see if I can actually go and put something in my hazard protection. It's fine. Oxygen recycler, shield, life support. Right. I think we need to put something in a life support. Let's take some carbon and... Oh, come on, you. Collect oxygen, life support gel, or dioxide to charge up your life support. I don't think I have any of them refined yet, so I shouldn't overstay my welcome, really. Whispering egg, hazardous flora. Right, let's take another gander inside here, but I think we're kind of done anyhow. Now, when it comes to this game, this is one of those games you can play it at your own place, or pace, should I say. But it would be much more recommended to take your time with it. This game requires you to understand the core principles of how this game wants to be played, and specifically when it comes to exploration and things like this. Okay, there's a hazardous plant. You know what? Can't even harvest it now. That's not good. Took a little bit of damage there.
Units received. Units received.
We need to take a good look around here. But yeah, performance-wise, 4K epic settings, considering it's an i5, no hyper-threading, I would want to say it's kind of fine. And yeah, in regards to everything else, you just need to really wait and see when it comes to it. You just need to play this game. This is not one of your, I'm gonna speedrun this game in 2 hours flat. That is not the case. So yeah, also you will be mining a lot. You need to have a constant supply of everything. Build a refinery station, refine it all, so you can recharge your ship's fuel, your own oxygen, and so on and so forth. So definitely Visor is gonna be your best friend. Also this one gives us oxygen, so we definitely need to mine that. Overall, I'm kind of happy of how this game has turned out. considering this is the game that actually managed to redeem itself since the launch. So I would want to say, you know, it's not too bad. It's currently on promotion, £24, which might not be much for some or too much for someone else. So, you know, it's entirely up to yourself how you look at this and if you think it's worth your cash. But overall, it's, you know, I wouldn't say it's a bad game. It's survived enough, so why not? Let's just go somewhere else real quick. So even now on screen, if you see the name Rifran Kabi, the weird letters that you see before, it means Avantpost, and that's in Russian. So essentially it means forward base or an outpost. But then again, there's this weird mix of language, Russian and English for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before, but apparently this dude who's playing, I think that probably is the username of the player, who's named this particular location, and he's on Steam. I think that's how it goes here. So if you see something in Russian or any other language, it's not because the game is trying to teach you other languages like Duolingo. I think it's more about the fact that you actually stumbled upon someone's discovery, which is not exactly a bad thing, all things considered. So before I end this particular episode, I think we need to just go here a little bit. There's someone's base here. Someone's ship just came in, fair enough. The transition between the planets is definitely way smoother than back in the day. Back in the day, and for those who actually never played this game when it just came out, it was more like this game had 3 speeds, here, there and gone, literally. There was no smooth transition between the planets. You could start transitioning into the planet atmosphere and the game would crash. You would try to get out, it would just throw you in darkness of space and no idea where you are. So far, I must say, the game itself has progressed rather nicely when it comes to it. I kind of want to see this dude's base, what he's built there. 436. You know what? Let's gain some altitude a bit. Because 5 minutes is a long time here. A little bit of that extra boost here out of the atmosphere. We can always go back in. Wow, mouse control in this game is slightly different. Let's see what this dude has built. You know what? Give some heads up on him. Give him some thumbs up. 6 seconds, 5. Okay, I think we should be 12 seconds. It should be right below us. Let's see how people live in No Man's Sky in 2024. Okay, I was kind of aiming for the landing pad, which is rather obvious, but I guess the game had a different idea. So I think this dude has built himself a pretty interesting recluse here. Air conditioning, panels, some woodwork. Yeah, it's not too bad. Look at this. 68 degrees out there. Really on the warm side, and my ship is kinda on the way. Let me just
Ground protection.
perhaps quickly reposition it. I think we can just set my ship down in this ravine. I would want to say this game is slightly more friendly than Star Citizen, perhaps at some point, you know, at least going to some other people's bases are not gonna get you necessarily shot on sight. But that might be wrong, you know, it's been a while. Habitable base, look at this. Teleporter. Under bases. Look at this. We have choices now. It's kind of cute. I wonder if we lose our ship if we go to any of these places. Let's go to this base, see what happens. So we got our ship here, which is good. And we're in a different location. We do have sentinels again, so that's nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, performance-wise, this game is... I wouldn't want to say hit and miss, but it works well enough. Now, granted, 4K Epic probably is not for everyone out here, all things considered, but, you know, if it works, why not? End of the day. Or, sorry, ultra settings. If it works well enough, why not? Because this game's been in so much patching, so much rework. I would want to say you can clearly, definitely get away with almost all of it. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.